I'm Maris Jansons. You are watching WQED Pittsburgh.
WQED's broadcast of On Cue magazine is made possible by grants from the Howard Hines Endowment, the Eberly Foundation, the R.K. Mellon Foundation, the McCune Foundation, the Pittsburgh Foundation, the Henry L. Hillman Foundation, and the Jewish Healthcare Foundation. Corporate funding is provided by UPMC Health System, making a difference in communities throughout Western Pennsylvania. Each and every day, we go beyond our walls and reach out to the neighborhoods we serve. UPMC Health System, 1-888-383-UPMC. And by the members of WQED.
Next on Cue, what's it like to be in outer space? Well, we'll find out from tonight's amazing One on Cue guest, Dr. Jay Apt. He's been on 4 shuttle missions and 2 spacewalks, and he lives right here in Pittsburgh.
Plus, spring is in the air, so what are you going to wear? Well, we'll show you some of the latest spring and summer looks for daytime, evening, and when you're just feeling, well, funky, it'll be très chic. So stay with us. On Cue starts right now.
Let's get funky. Hello and welcome to On Cue. I'm Chris Moore.
And I'm Stacy Smith, and on this program we answer the question, how did a boy from Pittsburgh grow up to become an astronaut and then go into space not once but 4 times? That boy who's now grown into quite a man is Dr. Jay Apt, and you'll meet him coming up. Plus, this past weekend, we can safely say it's spring, wouldn't you say? I would safely say that.
Okay,
yes.
Well, later today, we'll stage a spring fashion show for women right here in our very studio.
Are you modeling?
For women.
Oh, for women, I see.
That means you will model.
Oh, that's well, yeah, right. First, though, let us introduce you to Dr. Jay Apt. He recently retired as the director of the Carnegie Museum of Natural History. But before that, 4 shuttle missions, 2 spacewalks, a visit to the Russian space station Mir, NASA's highest honor, the Distinguished Service Medal, and a fast-selling book, Orbit. Jay, welcome.
Thanks a lot.
We should also say that you are a science technology contributor here on Cue also.
I'd love to do it. This is just a great show.
First question is, how did you become an astronaut? Is it something you always wanted to do?
You know, that has a real Pittsburgh connection. When I was 11, I stood out in the backyard of my East End house, and my dad and I looked at a satellite going overhead. It was a huge one, and so you could see it easily. And I said, you know, that's the most exciting thing that people are liable to do. Now, I didn't know about the stock market right in the 90s. And so I want to be involved with that. And I was lucky enough to be in a city that supported a lot of that. There were great things. I remember getting up and watching some programs actually on WQED early in the morning and learning all this stuff, then going over to the Buell Planetarium. And that's how I got interested in it.
But you know, Dr. Apt, excuse me, Stacy, I think there's an important lesson for young people to learn, because the first time you applied to the astronaut program, you weren't accepted, were you? But you didn't give up.
Not just the first time, the first 2 times. I applied in 1980, applied in 1984, and got in 1985. And you know, that's exactly right. Out of my class of 13 people in 1985, there was only 2 of us that had applied the first time and gotten in. So just never, ever give up.
What do they look for?
Mostly being part of a team. You've got to be able to take things that are sort of being thrown at you in disparate ways and put them together and get the job done.
Well, do you have to have some sort of background as a scientist to start
Sure.
with? Yeah.
There's some basic qualifications.
Because the early, if I can interrupt you, the early astronauts were all fly guys.
And a lot of the astronauts right now are fly guys, but even the fly guys generally have master's degrees. Some of the military test pilots have PhDs. A lot of the PhD scientists, like myself, came in with almost as many flying hours as the military test pilots. But we all had about 2,500 hours flying time when we got in different kinds of airplanes. But we all shared a love of working in teams and taking a job and just getting it done. Just do it should be the motto of the astronaut office.
Is it tough to start to work with other people? I mean, you say they look for a team player as such. Is that something you had to develop on your own, or does it just come naturally?
You know, most
or
of the
does science give you that too?
Well, science does these days. It's a big team effort, but mostly they looked for people who have worked in teams together. You know, now sometimes it's tough when you get a single-seat fighter pilot and you put them now in a 7-person crew and so forth. But generally, they've done some other jobs that get them ready for all of that. The teamwork is the most important thing. Is just being able to put your eye on a goal and saying, I'm not going to be the one who's going to cause us to fail to get to that goal. It's not going to fail because of me.
Now, when they're selecting a team of astronauts to go up, your background is in what area?
In physics.
In physics. Do they look for different scientists from different fields because of the kind of experiments they're going to do?
Depends on what they have. On my first mission, we had 2 physicists, an engineer, and 2 test pilots. Sometimes we've had medical doctors, sometimes we've even had a veterinarian. But you know what? All those distinctions kind of get blurred out because what you're doing is operating other people's equipment, and you train for long enough and hard enough that you know how to get those things to function and make them work when they don't want to work.
Now, I don't know if you're ready for this or not, but we're going to see some video now.
I'm ready.
That Dr. J. Apt has. And I guess one of the first questions a lot of us would have when is the thrust, the takeoff on a shuttle.
You would love it. Let's take a look at what it looks like. You know, the shuttle has been flying for about half the time that people have been going into space. This is the DC-3 or the 727 of space travel.
Very, very dependable,
very
safe
dependable,
aircraft.
reliable.
By calling it a DC-3, that's what you mean.
Exactly right. And you know, on launch day like this, you go out there and it's unlike any other time because you're the only people out there. And here we are getting suited up, and you know, it doesn't pay to take all of this too seriously, and we're taking pictures of each other.
Is that you taking, you're a photographer, right?
Oh, a lot of us were on that flight.
How long does it take you to get into that suit?
It's about a 25-minute deal, getting all the pressure tests and so forth.
Now, at this point, are you nervous at all on this walk?
No, heck, it was raining. We didn't think we were going to launch that day. None of us were nervous at all. We were sure we'd come back in there and get lunch. Yeah. But they surprised us and launched us, and so we never did have a chance to get nervous. But when those engines light, it is great. It is such a wonderful feeling because you can feel how big this thing is because of the low frequencies of vibration. And you know, once it's gone its own length, it's going 100 miles an hour. But it's a rough ride. It's like the biggest guy you ever saw in high school took a hold of your shoulders and just shook you as fast as he could. In fact, on my 4th flight, it was so rough we couldn't read the computer screens in front of us. That lasts for about 2 minutes until those solid rocket boosters burn their fuel out. That's what's causing this big plume of smoke that you see here in this lovely photograph. It's the solid rocket boosters. And here you can see them on the long-range tracking cameras. And they provide most of the thrust in the first 2 minutes, but boy, are they rough.
Well, you have to ask because it was about this point when Challenger met its fate. Was that in the back of your mind?
No, it was in the front of our mind.
Okay.
But we were real happy it didn't happen to us.
Right.
And, you know, to tell you the truth, I was never nervous on any one of the flights.
Don't they monitor your blood pressure and all your vital signs as that thing lights?
Yeah,
what's it like
flight.
in terms of being calm or nervous or just knowing you have a job to do?
Truth is, my blood pressure, pulse rate both went down.
Is that right?
When the things launched, because nothing was going to get in the way.
Now here you are with a fellow astronaut and things are floating around in space, and I guess this is the view. You took a lot of photographs from
We
up
did.
there,
This is some video we shot from up there, and the last one shows both the good and the bad about zero-G. Things float around, knock you in the head. They don't stay where you put them. But here's California, and it mostly doesn't stay where people put it either.
Sliding into the sea.
Well, here we are going out on an emergency spacewalk. Things don't always go as planned, and people often wonder what it's like out there,
yes,
you know, working in the suits. The truth is, it's just like working on your car. Well, back in the days when we could understand cars and work on them. Sometimes it works well, and sometimes, you know, the oil filter just won't come off, and you just have to work with it until it does.
Yeah, but you can't bruise your knuckles out here. In fact, something like that happened to you, didn't it? Didn't you rip your spacesuit? I thought that was the kiss of death in space.
There was a design flaw, and I actually did get a hole in my suit during an exercise here you can see us doing on the second spacewalk. And, you know, the suit is painful enough, I really never noticed that piece of steel sticking into my hand until after I took my glove off, and Linda Godwin, my friend, said, "Oh, you're bleeding." I thought, well, you know, it's just a little blister or something, but it turned out, anyway. Well, here's a spring fashion show, just like you were saying, what the well-dressed astronaut wears in the springtime in space.
Oh, wow. Now, when you go out the first time you went out on a walk, that had to be nervous also, or was it more exhilarating?
Because we were sent out on an emergency. We didn't think we could fix the thing that we were sent out to fix. We thought the jam was up where we couldn't get it, but we said, heck, we'll give it a shot. And we went out there and had it fixed in 16 minutes. But you know what? Everything that I trained for inside the shuttle was just like the training on the ground. I felt just fine about it. The spacewalks were real different. It was a total learning experience, and I was right at the limit of my capability for the first hour or so of
What do you mean, limit of your capability?
Well, you know, my heart rate was up around 150 or so, and it was just a very difficult experience, making everything work right, controlling your body, controlling your tools, and then you got real used to it.
So you have to crank these arms. I understand a motor failed or something in the unplanned spacewalk, and you had to extend some piece of equipment because the motor failed, right?
Well, actually, it was a bolt that had stuck into some insulation, like some cloth, and we had to rip it loose and then crank it out. So it was.
But I understand in space, if you know, we know that old thing: for every reaction, there's an equal and opposite. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In space, though, if you turn something this way, isn't your whole body going to turn the other way?
Sure, it's just like picking somebody up who's fallen in the ice skating rink. If you're not careful, you'll be down there too. And you train for that, and you put one hand for you and one hand for the ship. And it's just like the old sailing ships, and you get that right after a little while.
But are you trained as to what could go wrong and what you might have to go out and do? So when they told you, okay, Jay, Dr. App, you drew the short straw. You got to go out and repair this thing. You have some idea of what it is?
They had trained us on a lot of stuff, and they told us, you know what, this isn't something we trained you for, and we're not sure you can get up into get it done, but we figured it out. I mean, like I said, it's just like working on your car. Sometimes it works, and this time it worked, and we were real happy to save a $700 million satellite.
Dr. Abb, a lot of people talk about the kind of money that is spent in space, $700 million, you just said, for one satellite, and they wonder if the exploration is worth it. As a person who's been there 4 times, do you feel like Magellan, is it worth it for us to go to all these brave new worlds, or at least to go around this one a couple of times when you're in orbit?
Well, let me talk to you about just going around this one. One of the big things has its 40th anniversary today, the launch of the first weather satellite. Weather satellites alone, I read just a little while ago, had saved 10 times the cost of the entire space program in lost crops and lost lives that otherwise would have been big surprises when these hurricanes and so forth roll in. Not to mention all of the computerization and the other things that we know as space spin-offs. My own view is that that's nice and it's a good justification, but the truth is, inside people's soul is exploration. There's no way you're going to stop it. People are going to go out someplace.
Do you know of any other products, or I read constantly about other things, and I can't remember any of them, that have been benefits of the space program that we use in our everyday lives? Can you mention any of those?
Well, you know what? There's a whole lot of them, but I was just at a presentation here in Pittsburgh for what's called the Enterprise Awards. This is a big entrepreneurship. And one of the best presentations was a little spin-off from Carnegie Mellon University that was using technology out of the space program to make it so that your handheld device, your Palm Pilots and so forth, can talk to one another and know that you're in Barnes & Noble and here are the things that you want to buy, and it tells you where to find. That's the kind of spin-off that you don't expect, you don't read about, and yet here it is right here in Pittsburgh, CMU's commercializing some NASA-developed technology. It's wonderful.
I don't want to leave you up in space before we run out of time. Normally on a normal airplane, takeoff and landing are considered the 2 most dangerous times.
Well, driving to the airport.
Well, that could be true too, but the landing, what is that like? Coming back, the re-entry?
You know, when you come back, the worst thing is you feel real heavy, and the things you're holding, like the cameras and the checklists, are heavy. Once you get down below the speed of sound, you're coming around to line up with the runway, it's real noisy, and it's real rough. It buffets in the wind and so forth. It lands about twice as fast as a commercial airliner, but 6 times as steep. So the folks who do that, the military test pilots, they are great, they're wonderful. It's a tremendous, exhilarating feeling to do that, do it right, and walk out of the shuttle, shake hands with all your friends and say, we did it.
Do you feel the heat at all in that re-entry?
No, you really don't. The technology to keep that outside works just great, and I'm really glad it does.
What would you say to the young people who want to do what you have done?
You know, if I could trade places with somebody in kindergarten right now, I'd do it, because the things they're going to see in space when they're my age are going to be incredible. Study all the science and math and communication skills that you can, because all of those are important, and stay in school.
Stay in school. You know, you're, one final question for you here. Are you tired of it? You went up 4 times. Was there a chance for a 5th?
Actually, I was offered a 5th mission, which would have been on the new International Space Station, but it would have involved about 6 years of training in Russia without my family. So my wife and I made the decision that's not what we wanted to do, and we decided to move here in Pittsburgh, and now I'm getting involved with the high technology community here. What a great, exciting time to be in Pittsburgh. It's fabulous.
Right back home.
You bet.
Full circle. Wow.
Dr. J. thank you so much for being with us. And the beginning part of your story about seeing the weather satellite go by reminds me a lot of the book that was written called Rocket Boys or October Sky. I don't know if you read it or not, but it's almost the same kind of thing.
It's a great book. Homer Hickam is a terrific author.
Yeah. Jay, thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
Now a look ahead to tomorrow's program. Carnegie, Frick, Mellon, the families that built Pittsburgh. So why is there talk of moving the Frick archives to New York City? Tomorrow on Q, we will find out who is behind it and why they want to do it.
Now, did you know there's a place in Pittsburgh called St. Anthony's Chapel that has more religious relics than anywhere else in the world, next to the Vatican? Well, we'll take you there tomorrow on Q and show you what's inside.
And tomorrow's live performers are the Dancing Demons. You'll definitely love these guys. I do. You'll see them tomorrow on Q.
Well, spring has officially arrived, and so have this year's spring fashions. And drab colors are out, and some very defined looks are in. With me today for a look at updating your wardrobe and maybe even your hairstyle are Post-Gazette fashion writer Lamont Jones and Premier Salon stylist Emilio and Gino. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Now we're going to feature fashions from 3 very cool local shops. Benicia City Boutique, which is located downtown, Max Alto, which is in Shadyside, and Bailey & Bailey, they're in Swickley. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right to our first daytime look from Max Alto. Now this is Brooke coming in. Lamont, tell me about this. What is hot?
It's a terrific look. The whole outfit is hot. That's a 3-piece actually, and you see the pale blue jacket that she has. Blue has been declared the color of the new millennium by the Pantone Color Institute. She has the tiger print on. That's a camisole underneath, a tank top, and then the capri length pants. So that's very stylish, very slinky.
Now, that's a Western cut jacket. That's D&G from Max Alto. And of course those capri pants. Now, Emilio, Gino, what about that hair?
Well, one of the key things with the hair, this is a look that we call the Twixie. And what's great about this look is it's a shorter inspiration coming and with a great deal of texture in it. Also, what lends to the texture is the color. If you notice, I don't know if you can get closer, yep. See how it has, you see the dimensions of bronze working through the hair. Okay. Also, what's great with this is it can be styled 3 different ways.
Great, so we're looking for versatility. Next is Angie. Lamont, tell me about this look.
Fruit is big.
Fruit is big.
Fruit is big on Angie. And that's one of the hot trends. And this dress is a fabric that's a kind of a stretch microfiber. It's very form-fitting, very sexy, very cool, very flexible, travels well.
This is D&G also.
Yes.
And of course the stretch is very big right now.
Big for women and men, yes.
What about the hair?
Actually, part of the collection for the hair today that we're going to be seeing a great deal to come in the future is the fusion look is what we're calling it. And it's a great look because, as you can see, this is one of our fused bobs. And as you can see, it's very versatile. Like basically, you can do a number of different things with this look. One is wearing it straight down, just tweaking it out just like that, just playing up some little pieces, creating a lot of texture, movement, and dimension. You can also put this little piece up, and we're going to see that in just a few minutes with our next outfit.
Next is Bobby. And this is for evening. This is designer Mona Lee.
Yes, that's very West Coast, but it's actually great from New York to Los Angeles. You see the different textures there at work. Combining textures is a big thing the designers are doing now. You see the satiny looking bodice on that dress, then you have the top with the knit pattern, and it's very, very classic. You might not be able to see it, but the panels at the bottom of the dress, there's some sheer panels there, and that's big.
Yeah, those are vintage fabrics.
Vintage fabrics, right? Or they're made to look that way.
Made to look, yeah, very hot look in Hollywood.
Very. Yeah. Look at that detailing on that.
Okay, in the hair, we have a...
The hair, this is a look, part of the Fusion collection, where it's called the Shixie. And basically, Fusion is about fusing different eras, cultures, and nationalities. And this is a fusion between the Pixie and the original Shag. And you'll see this utilized 3 different ways with the rest of the models.
Okay, thank you very much. Next we have Venetia's City Boutique. And our first look is Kristen. She's in, this is a very big, hot look. This is the Day Hipster coming up.
Hot, hot. Look at those python pants. That is the skin of the season. Even going into fall, the python print, you'll see it on bags, blouses, shoes, here on these capri length pants. Very, very chic when matched with the cropped waist leather jacket. Leather's big on through the summer, on into fall. Great look.
Now these are the looks you're seeing that are very, very important for Paris, London, blah, blah, blah. But you can buy this in Pittsburgh. You don't have to travel to find these looks. They are here in Pittsburgh.
Well, the one great thing about I noticed the haircut and the color also. It's just a brand new version of the Shake. But notice the colors. See that leopard? What we try to do then, we try to look at that outfit because hair always follows fashion. So because of that reason, now what we're doing is we're actually making the highlights a little bit more like bold. Can you notice that? Can you like the little pieces that are playing up, just creating a lot of dimension again.
Okay, now we've got our funky chic Mary coming out. This is a 3-piece ensemble from Nicole Miller.
Yes, Nicole Miller. What else can you say? Look at that. The flare on those, again, the capri length pants. You have that nice, almost tunic length jacket. Very, very feminine, very soft. You have the nice turquoise colors in there and very subtle detailing. Also, notice the designers are paying attention to linings. Look at the lining on that jacket.
You can almost buy this for separates. I mean, you can mix and match it with other pieces.
Yes, you can. That's the trend now, separates. Yeah.
Also notice the tweaking with the hairstyle. Again, just another variation to a classic, in a sense, bob, styled slightly different, utilizing a flat iron.
Basically tweaking it out.
That's very nice. It's almost 60s looking, but it's got a new kick to it. Okay, next up is Faith in the evening look. This is also a Nicole Miller.
Yes, Nicole strikes again.
This is classic, but it's also very new looking too.
Yes, and again, notice the fringes at the bottom. Fringes are back. That's turquoise beading on that. Up at the top also, and then throughout the dress, you have the detailing with the turquoise and the floral patterns. Florals are big. And that's, of course, very flattering to the figure, very sexy. Lets women show off those bodies they've worked so hard to, maintain throughout the winter.
And it's a great updo with this, too.
One of the things about, see the hair falling down, one of the fashionable things is you only have to really see out of one eye these days. I'm just...
Literally. No, but this is, again, the Shixie. You saw it wavy, you saw it straighter with Bobby, and now here, this is a simple way to pull hair up, utilizing what we call folding and rolling. And that's where we take a bobby pin and create those type of techniques. And it's a great way to put up any range or varying lengths of hair.
Well, we're going to see that in just a moment with Angie when she comes up.
The thing that's wonderful about these looks too is there's a lot of detail this year,
Lots of
and
detail.
color, color, color.
That's it.
This is the main thing. Also, we have, thank you ladies, we have Bailey and Bailey. This is Angie. Once again, Angie is an on-cue contributor. We're just so happy to have her here. Now this is a William B. This is the funky chic look. Once again, we've got the beading.
And the detailing down at the bottom of the skirt. Orange is hot. I'm surprised
that Chris, that's matching your outfit a little bit.
This soft tangerine. And again, the very soft look, the body flattering look. Very, very feminine, very classy, very chic.
Now, Angie, you can see just how flexible this look really is. She's going to basically tuck it back behind her ears. It's just another look of the variation, just tuck and go. How many of us do that every day, just tuck and go? And the other look that you're going to see a great deal is the one where we just put the back up. So if we maybe on the next segment we can do that.
That's a great purse.
So that's called the tuck and go.
That is nice.
Okay, and next up is Bobby. Once again, we're seeing some python.
Bring it on, yes. We're finding now that even the browns in so many different shades, and the tans and the taupes are back big. Again, notice the capri length pants, the conforming of the leather, body conscious silhouettes. Very nice look, very casual, very comfortable. You can wear it to a shopping mall, to the grocery store, to a club at night.
Now this is a teen flow, and underneath Bobby's jacket is a Tammy Mars white camisole.
Right.
It has a bra built in, which is
Very
always
sexy.
nice to have, so you don't have to keep layer. We don't need a lot of layers sometimes.
Especially in summer.
What's very big also with accessories this year are the beaded crystal necklaces. We're seeing a lot of that.
Right.
And how about this hair?
The main thing here that you see again is another version of tucking and going. Also notice the slight little tweaks on the ends. And most importantly, notice the natural movement with the color. There's a technique that we call natural movement lights, which is a highlighting technique that we utilize with this particular look.
I also love that purse. Can we get a look at that purse? Let's see if I have anything on.
Bags are really, really doing a lot of different things this season. You'll see all shapes, all sizes, all patterns.
The Clever Carriage Company. Now we've got Angie back with us. She is the model of the new millennium tonight.
And there she is, putting her hair up for us.
Look at those.
And this is the Emma Black beaded pant. Oh boy, this is also from Bailey. Emma Black leads the pack.
Yes.
And some hot pink crop pants also. We see so much.
Look at that apron top. Yeah, can you turn again, Angie? Look at that apron top. Look at the back.
Wow, I like
Show
that.
that back, yes. Yeah.
That was big.
Very sexy, very feminine. Nice again, the detailing, the crystals on the pant.
And we've also, can we talk about the hair? We did a
Well,
little quick
basically,
little updo there.
as you can see how versatile the hairstyle really is, you can take 2 pins. How many pins did you use? 2? 1 pin. Wow.
One pin.
Just 1 pin and
Very
pull it
long
straight
pin.
back and a little twist and tuck it in. And the important thing is just to leave those little pieces because we're seeing a great deal of up and downs this season with hair. So, and there you have it. Just another variation.
Now, if I could just take a second, Venetia was good enough to give me an outfit tonight from the City Boutique. It's a Yancey Fugal, and here we go.
All right.
I don't really know how to do the twirl quite
Good
right,
job.
but
It's very elegant, very
I could do it
professional.
halfway. And I've got the turquoise, which is the new millennium necklace, so we're
Yes.
very excited about that. Well, thank you so much.
And we want to give special thanks to Catherine and Claudia for
Catherine
helping
and
us out.
Claudia, who,
Right,
if
with
you
the
could have
makeup.
seen what we did to the men's makeup room. I'm so sorry, you guys. Poor Stacy and Chris were just kicked out of their room today. It will never smell the same. It's hairspray and perfume forever and ever and ever. But we really would like to thank everyone. I want to thank all of our models and, of course, our guest, Lamont Jones. Thank you
Great to be
very
here.
much.
Thanks for having me.
For the Post-Gazette and Emilio and Gino of Premier
you, Kara.
Salons. They're kind enough to come in and do my hair. And also, thanks so much for being here, for everyone who helped with us. And we're going, and Stacy, Chris, what did you think?
Well, I'm wearing the tuck and go, so I'm very pleased that they're emulating my style.
I usually use 2 pins when I take mine back. And Chris and I are now headed back to the men's dressing room. And we will see you back here tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
WQED's broadcast of On Cue magazine is made possible by grants from the Howard Hines Endowment, the Eberly Foundation, the R.K. Mellon Foundation, the McCune Foundation, the Pittsburgh Foundation, the Henry L. Hillman Foundation, and the Jewish Healthcare Foundation, and by the members of WQED.
Next time on David Copperfield,
Are you happy now, you foolish boy?
love and loss,
She's gone, Master Davy. Emily's gone.
betrayal and treachery.
Approach me again, you heap of infamy, and it'll be your head.
And dreams come true.
A secret?
I know there is someone close to your heart.
The final chapter of David Copperfield on ExxonMobil Masterpiece Theater.
Concludes tonight at 9 here on WQED 13. WQED